combination together? Would you think of them together?
We got a lot of work to do. They're still getting on each other's way. We need to make sure that we can give each of them a chance to get isolated. Because if they're both isolated, they're gonna score. Or have a great chance.
Talking with Oscar, it seems like he is hearing what you all are telling him about interior passing, the high-low, those things. How far has he come? What are the things he still needs to improve on?
Well, when I got asked that walking off on TV, and I told them they don't have enough time. How much time you got?
You know, more.
I mean, I think I've said that in here before. Oscar has really only played a couple of years. And that's at the high school level where obviously he was bigger and stronger and everything, more than the people he's playing against. And, you know, we've got a lot of work to do with him, and he's got a lot of work to do, and just his understanding. And you know, Derek got better as the year went on a year ago, and I think he continues to get better now, but Derek has a little bit better understanding of when and why than what Oscar does. But Oscar wants to learn. I wasn't very happy with him because I thought he took plays off. I wasn't very happy with him the first half because he took plays off. And when you take plays off, generally speaking, you get burned. And so I think they made 3 threes. Williams guarded him, made a couple layups really when he didn't get back to his man. You know, when you're sitting in there and you're looking at maybe 13 points given up, that's a lot. But he's a great kid. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. He wants to do all the right things. I think sometimes he almost wants to do the right thing too much. You know, that he just doesn't cut loose and play. But we got a long way to go.
I thought as a team, though, you made defensive strides tonight. I mean, I thought
We're getting better, Bob. But, you know, then we got away from what we did we started doing at Pitt, which was good for us, and then we got away from it today for some reason unknown to me, and it was guys that you wouldn't suspect that they would, you know, not do what they were supposed to do. But then part of that maybe is then we had guys in there who hadn't played a whole bunch of minutes, and they start getting on the wrong side of the guy. And we're trying to be consistent with it, and you know, we may have made a mistake when we said let's go ahead and double out of it. Maybe it's too, not that we shouldn't do that, but it might be too soon to do that. Then you sit and you look at the schedule and you see who you've got coming up, and we don't need to.
Coach, are you puzzled at all through with Jordan's performance through 4 games? And why it's, you know, been the way it is?
I just think there's not just Jordan, but we haven't made shots. Jordan hasn't made shots. Chase hasn't made shots. Taz made them the first game. He hasn't made them. Sean hasn't made them. Sean made them in Pitt, but he hasn't made them after that. But I think some of it's mechanics. Some of it's balance. is you just send them get as many shots up as what they normally get up. I'm a big believer in stepping into your shot. If you step into your shot, you get your legs in it. And I get tired of watching guys bang the ball off the front of the rim constantly. I think that's one of the worst plays there is in basketball, because you bang it off the front of the rim. It's like an outlet pass to the other team. We're not going to rebound it. And it hits the rim, it bounces out. Now there they go in transition. We give them numbers by doing that. And I tell our guys all the time, throw it over the rim. I'm good with that. Throw it over the rim. Or stop banging it off the front of the rim. And we have a whole bunch of guys that do that. And I think the mechanics are not what they need to be. I don't think they get any legs in their shot whatsoever.
Kind of following up on that, is their shot selection okay, or is it they're getting good shots, but the mechanics that you mentioned are kind of thrown?
I don't think a bunch of them could get any better shots than what they got.
Are you starting to cut down the rotation at all, or do you think you'll continue to play 12, 13 guys?
Well, the whole idea was play guys, play whatever, play a 4-minute, 5-minute deal, take them out, play the second group 4 or 5 minutes, take them out, and we wear the other team down. And, we just haven't sustained anything.
Derek said his foul trouble, he thinks, is from guarding some smaller guys than he's used to. Do you think that's an accurate assessment?
That's part of it.
Coach, talking with Oscar, obviously it's been an interesting process for him to get the okay to travel overseas, get cleared and all that. I know he's up in, Canada yesterday to as part of that process. What, I don't know, I guess in your words, what's it been like? Has this been an interesting process, to say the least?
Well, it's more complicated than what ordinarily it would have been, because a lot of these in-season tournaments we play in the country.
Right.
So that's what really made it a little more complex. It's not playing here in the United States.
Bob, obviously Gabe's first game, I mean, he didn't score, but sort of analysis of what he gives you.
Well, he was really bad today. I think he went too fast. I think he was too anxious. I think, but you kind of expect that. I think when we've had other guys that kind of come in after the other guys have some games under their belt, that happens. And quite frankly, we haven't spent as much time with him. We're trying to work with Derek. We're trying to work with Logan. We're trying to work with Oscar, and he's there, and he's getting reps, but they're not. You don't have as many eyes on him as you do on those other guys. And so we've got to do that. And he just got too anxious. I mean, his basketball IQ is pretty good. And one time he caught it, and we ran a clear out for him, and for him to straight line it down the lane, and he drove it into the guys where there were 2 guys on the side, and we put those 2 guys over there to get him out of his way. And he drove it right into him, and he doesn't do that. It's just I just think he went too fast, and he was a little too anxious, and he wanted to do a little more than what maybe he's capable of doing.
Are there any pairings of the bigs you prefer to have out there, or are you willing to mix and match them however?
What did Abe Lemon said? I fly by the seat of my pants. I believe Abe said something to that effect. No, I mean, how do I know? How do I know whether Derek's going to get in foul trouble, or how do I know whether Logan's going to twist his ankle, or I don't do that. How do I know that one of them's not going to show up and not feel like playing that day? I want to play the guys who are going to play. I want to play the guys who are good at it. I want to play. I'll play the guys that play hard. I'll play the guys that give us effort. If they're not doing that, they're coming out. Well, some of them I obviously haven't set them long enough. If I set them longer, they will probably conform a little faster. Usually works that way.
There's a lot of talk about your front court and your guards, and Emmett's kind of like right in between. Do you see any of that, like just kind of him trying to play his part and let others get together, or is he affected by this somehow?
Well, that, you know, he'll, once we get Gabe caught up, we're not, you know, how do I say this? We're not playing Big 12 people now. And so the majority of the people we're gonna play are not gonna have 6'3" guys playing power forward. So, he's gonna guard a 3-man, like, you know, like really, I mean, we started out in doing. And he's, obviously he's capable of that. We had him on Culver last year.
Anything else?
Yeah, Bob, looking ahead just a little bit with the possibility of a matchup with South Carolina, obviously you and Coach Martin have history there. What's the relationship like with you and Frank these days?
Frank and I are really close. I try to recruit guys. I used to tell everybody this. They're like, you know, why did you hire Frank? I said, because I couldn't get any of his players from him. I tried like crazy to recruit those guys at Miami Senior, and we came right to the end with several of them and didn't get any of them. But he, you know, I like guys who not guys that things were handed to, and there wasn't anything handed to Frank. I told the president of Kansas State, he was like, well, he said to me he doesn't have any head coaching experience. This is when I came back here and I was trying to tell him to hire Frank out there. And I said, no, he's got all kind of head coaching experience. He said, yeah, but it's high school. I said, let me explain something to you. He coached better players in high school than I had at Cincinnati. He would have 6, 7 high-level Division I guys. Now, you want to talk about hard. You know, you got to manage all those egos. You got everybody in their ear. You know, this guy wants to outscore this guy, and all he did was win state championship after state championship and go undefeated. So, you know, I knew the guy could coach. I knew he could deal with people. And I told Ronnie to hire him, actually, and Ronnie hired him first, and then I hired him from Ronnie, and then took him to Kansas State with me, and then tried to help him as much as I could get the Kansas State job, which turned out really well for both of them.
Were you close to bringing him here when you came? When was it?
They were in the car. He and Delonte were both in the car headed to the airport. And the president called him, and they called me. They said, what do I do? I said, turn around. And so he turned around, and he got the job there. Being a head coach there is a little better than being an assistant here, in a lot of ways.
Thanks, Coach.